This story is titled, "When I Handed My Son a Hand-Carved Birthday Gift, He Threw It on the Floor." My wife said he wanted something from Amazon. Maybe try being useful next year. That night, I drove to my friend's house. Didn't tell anyone. This morning, my son showed up crying on the porch. 3 months. That's how long I spent in my garage workshop after dinner each night, carefully carving the intricate dragon chess set for Alex's 13th birthday. Each piece was crafted from oak, the wood grain carefully considered to add character to every knight, bishop, and pawn. I'd even inlaid maple accents for the scales and eyes, just like the dragons in those fantasy games he loved so much. The garage was my sanctuary, the one place where Lisa's constant criticism couldn't reach me. Still playing with wood, she'd sneer when I came in with sawdust on my clothes. The neighbors probably think we can't afford real furniture. But I learned to tune her out, focusing instead on making something special for my son. Alex used to love spending time with me in the workshop. When he was younger, he'd sit for hours on that old stool, watching me work, asking questions about every tool. "Dad, can I help? Dad, what are you making? Dad, teach me." But that was before Lisa got her promotion, before we moved to the better neighborhood, before his new friends started showing up in designer clothes with the latest gadgets. The morning of his birthday, I carefully wrapped the chess set in the special paper he used to love, the one with dragons on it that I'd saved from his 10th birthday. Back then, he still thought his old dad was worth something. "Happy birthday, buddy." I held out the package, trying not to show how nervous I was. Lisa was already rolling her eyes from her spot on the couch, tapping away at her phone. Alex barely looked up from his tablet. "What is it?" "Open it and see." I sat beside him, remembering all those late nights of carving, sanding, perfecting each detail. The paper tore away to reveal the polished wooden box with its hand-carved lid. Inside, nestled in velvet, were 32 pieces of my heart, carved into dragons that would never take flight. Alex's face fell. What is this?" "It's a chess set. See? Each piece is a different type of dragon, just like in Dragon's Realm, that game you love. The knights are wind dragons, the bishops are spell dragons, the queen is Dash." The box hit the floor with a crash that seemed to echo through my soul. Pieces scattered across the hardwood, 3 months of love and labor rolling under furniture like discarded pennies. "I wanted the new gaming system, the one I showed you on Amazon." Alex's voice cracked with anger and disappointment. "Everyone at school has one." Before I could respond, Lisa's voice cut through the air like a whip. "He wanted something from Amazon. Maybe try being useful next year and earn enough for a real gift." I stared at the scattered chess pieces, at the tiny dragon faces that had once seemed so full of possibility. One of the knights had chipped where it hit the floor. Just like that, something inside me chipped too. "I'll clean this up," I said quietly, getting down on my knees to gather the pieces. "Just leave it," Lisa sighed. "I'll have Maria get it when she comes to clean tomorrow." "Alex, honey, we'll order your gaming system tonight." I picked up the pieces anyway, each one feeling heavier than the last. When the box was full again, I walked to the garage and placed it on my workbench. Then I packed a small bag, grabbed my keys, and walked out the front door. They didn't even notice me leave. 3 days. That's how long it took for them to notice I was gone. I sat in my brother Mike's guest room, staring at my silent phone, wondering if Alex had found any more pieces of the chess set under the furniture. Wondering if he even cared. "They don't deserve you, bro," Mike would say, watching me check my phone for the 100th time. But he didn't understand. Every night, I'd take out my wallet and look at Alex's old school photo from before Lisa's promotion, before the expensive neighborhood, before Amazon wishlist replaced "I love you, Dad." On the 4th night, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to hear my son's voice. The phone rang 3 times before connecting. But instead of Alex's voice, I heard laughter in the background. Deep, male laughter mixing with Lisa's high-pitched giggle. The kind of laugh she used to reserve for dinner parties when she was trying to impress someone. "Hello," Lisa answered, slightly breathless. "Oh, it's you." More laughter in the background. A man's voice saying something about ordering dinner. "Is Alex there?" My hands were shaking. "He's busy with his new gaming system. Brad from the office helped us set it up. He's so good with technology, unlike..." The unfinished sentence hung in the air. "Unlike you." "Brad from the office?" My voice was surprisingly steady. "Helping with technology at 8 p.m.? Well, someone had to step up since you decided to throw your little tantrum and disappear." Her voice dripped with disdain. "Brad's been very helpful. He actually knows what kids want these days, not some handmade whatever that was supposed to be." In the background, I heard Brad call out, "Lisa, honey, should we order Thai or Italian?" Honey. The pieces clicked into place. The late nights at the office. The constant criticism of my woodworking. The sudden interest in having Maria clean the house twice a week instead of once. "Where's Alex?" I demanded. "Playing his game. The one Brad bought him. A proper gift. He hasn't even mentioned you, you know. Probably hasn't even noticed you're gone." That last part was meant to hurt. And it did. But not as much as hearing my son laughing with Brad in the background, probably sitting on the same couch where my chess pieces had scattered across the floor. "Tell Alex." My voice caught. "Tell him I love him." "Is that all?" Lisa sounded bored. "Brad's waiting to order dinner." I hung up, walked to Mike's garage, stared at his tool bench, so similar to my own at what used to be home. "You okay?" Mike appeared in the doorway. "I heard you on the phone." "Brad from the office," I laughed, but it came out more like a sob. "Brad from the fucking office is ordering dinner with my family." Mike was quiet for a moment. Then, "Want to talk about it?" "No." I picked up a piece of wood from his scrap pile. "Oak, like the chess set. I want to work. Got any projects that need doing?" Because that's what I did. I fixed things. Built things. Created things with my hands while Brad from the office ordered Thai food and played video games with my son. The irony wasn't lost on me. How I'd spent 3 months crafting a gift that ended up on the floor, while Brad probably spent 3 minutes on Amazon buying the perfect present. I started sanding the piece of oak, not even sure what I was making. But I kept at it, trying to smooth away the rough edges of my heart. I don't remember driving to the house. Just remember standing at my own front door, knocking like a stranger. The door opened, and there was Brad, tall, polished, wearing an expensive sweater, lounging in my home like he owned it. "Can I help you?" He smiled the corporate smile, all teeth and no warmth. "You can help by getting out of my house." My voice was low, dangerous. "This is still my family." "Jim." Lisa appeared behind him, her face twisting with annoyance. "What are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" "What is he doing here?" "In my house, with my wife, playing daddy to my son." Brad chuckled, actually chuckled. "Listen, man, I think you're confused. This isn't your house anymore. You walked out, remember? Left them with nothing but some carved toys. Those carved toys took 3 months to make." I stepped closer. 3 months of love and care, while you were what? Waiting to swoop in with your credit card? "Dad?" Alex appeared at the top of the stairs, his new gaming system controller in hand. "Why are you here?" "You're ruining everything." "Ruining everything?" I felt something snap inside. I spent 13 years building this family. 13 years working overtime, fixing this house, trying to give you everything. And this guy walks in with a gaming system and suddenly he's your hero. At least he knows what I actually want. Alex shouted back. "Not some stupid wooden dragons." Brad put his arm around Alex's shoulders. "Hey buddy, why don't you go back to your game? Let the adults talk." That casual touch, that easy familiarity, seeing another man comfort my son in my house, I lunged forward. "Get your hands off my son." Brad caught my wrist easily. "See, this is why Lisa called me. You're unstable. Violent. Living in the past with your little woodworking hobby while the rest of the world moves forward." "My hobby?" I wrenched free. "That hobby built half the furniture in this house. That hobby paid for Alex's braces. And now my job pays for everything else," Lisa cut in. "We don't need your crafts anymore. We need someone modern. Someone successful." "Someone successful," I echoed, looking around at my home. My tools were gone from their hooks. My work boots no longer by the door. "You mean someone who can buy your love? Get out." Alex's voice was cold, so cold. "Brad's right. You're living in the past. We don't want your stupid handmade things. We don't want you." I looked at my son, this stranger wearing my child's face, then at Lisa, leaning into Brad's embrace. At my family, united against me in my own home. "You want modern?" My voice shook. "You want successful? Fine. But remember this moment. Remember when you chose money over love, things over care, Brad over dad. Because I promise you, you'll remember it for a long time." "Is that a threat?" Brad stepped forward, all corporate confidence. "Should I call the police?" "No need." I reached into my pocket and pulled out my house key. Dropped it on the floor where the chess pieces had scattered just days ago. "I'm leaving. But first." I turned to Brad. "You think you've won? You think you can just step into a man's life, buy his family's love, and that's it? Watch your back, Brad from the office. Because this unstable craftsman, he's just getting started. Get out." Lisa screamed. Get out before I call the police. I walked out of my home for the second time. But this time was different. This time, I wasn't leaving in quiet defeat. This time, I was leaving with a plan. I was in Mike's garage that night, mindlessly sanding pieces of wood, trying to smooth away my anger like I smoothed away rough edges. 2 weeks since I'd walked out of my own home. 2 weeks of silence from my son. When my phone rang at 11:30 p.m., I almost didn't answer. But something made me reach for it. Dad. Alex's voice cracked, and my heart stopped. He was crying. My son was crying. Alex? What's wrong, buddy? Can you come get me? Please. His voice was small, scared, like when he used to call for me after nightmares. I don't want to be here anymore. Brad doesn't. He doesn't even see me. Not like you did. My hands gripped the workbench. Are you sure? I heard them talking. They want to send me away. Mom's letting him. I'm just baggage to them. There was a pause, a soft sound like he was holding something. Dad, I was wrong. About everything. About the chess set. About you. Please. Every instinct screamed at me to rush over there. But I forced myself to stay calm. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Pack a bag. Wait by your window. I grabbed my keys, my heart pounding. Mike appeared in the doorway. Everything okay? My son needs me. That's all I had to say. Mike just nodded. The drive to my old house felt endless. I parked down the street, killed the lights. The oak tree I'd taught Alex to climb still stretched up to his window. I'd trimmed it every year to make sure no branches ever grew too weak to hold him. When he appeared at the window, backpack over his shoulder, my breath caught. He looked so young, so vulnerable. He climbed down the way I'd taught him years ago. Always 3 points of contact. Always test the branch first. Then he was running to me, and I caught him in my arms like no time had passed at all. He smelled of expensive cologne, probably something Brad bought him, but underneath was still my boy. I found this, he whispered, pulling something from his pocket. In his palm sat one of the dragon knights from the chess set, slightly chipped, but otherwise intact. I've been holding it every night, wishing I could take back what I said, wishing I hadn't thrown it. My vision blurred. All these nights I'd spent angry, plotting revenge, and my son had been holding on to a piece of my heart, wishing to come home. We can make a new set together, I said softly. I'll teach you how. Alex. Lisa's voice called from inside the house. Are you up there? Let's go, I said, guiding him to the truck. We've got some rebuilding to do. As we drove away, I watched Alex in the passenger seat, clutching that chess piece like a lifeline. The anger that had been fueling me these past weeks began to fade, replaced by something warmer. Something like hope. Dad, he whispered, can you teach me everything again? Like when I was little? I reached over and squeezed his shoulder, feeling the solid reality of my son beside me. One piece at a time, buddy. One piece at a time. And for the first time since that birthday party, since watching my gifts scatter across the floor, I felt whole again. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. Sometimes it's about getting back what matters most. Back at Mike's house, Alex told me everything over hot chocolate, the same drink I used to make him after nightmares. His words came tumbling out between sobs. They were planning to send me to boarding school in Vermont, Dad. Mom didn't even argue. Brad said I was just baggage. His hands shook around the mug. They thought buying me stuff would make it okay. Something dark and cold settled in my chest. When did they decide this? Brad said he didn't sign up to be a full-time dad. Mom just agreed with everything he said. Alex pulled out his phone, showing me texts between him and his mother. See? She's been researching schools for weeks. My hands trembled with rage as I read their exchange. Lisa casually mentioning prestigious boarding opportunities, while Alex begged not to be sent away. All while she and Brad planned vacations, posted photos of their perfect life on social media. I called my lawyer that night. Lisa's calls started the next morning. I declined each one. Finally, I sent a single text. All communication through attorneys only. Her response was immediate. Don't be ridiculous. He's my son. The son you were planning to ship off to boarding school? I typed back. The baggage you and Brad wanted to get rid of? Talk to my lawyer. Then I blocked her number. The custody hearing was set for the following week. In that time, Alex and I started rebuilding, not just the chess set, but our relationship. Each evening, we'd work in Mike's garage, and I'd teach him the basics of woodworking. He was a natural, just like when he was little. Dad, he asked one night, carefully sanding a night. Why didn't you tell me about the boarding school plan when you found out? I didn't know, I admitted. But if I had, I would have fought even harder to keep you with me. The day of the hearing, we walked into the courthouse together. Lisa was already there with Brad, both wearing expensive suits that probably cost more than my monthly salary. But Alex walked right past them, staying close to my side. Alex, honey, Lisa called out. Come here. You need to sit with me. But Alex just gripped my arm tighter. No, Mom. I'm staying with Dad. This is ridiculous. Brad stepped forward. We were going to give you everything, the best education, the best opportunities. Everything except love, Alex cut him off. Everything except a real home. The judge called us in. Our lawyer presented the evidence, the text about boarding school, testimonies from Alex's teachers about his close relationship with me, even the saved chess piece as proof of our bond. Lisa's lawyer argued about financial stability, about Brad's connections, about the opportunities they could provide. But then Alex asked to speak. Your Honor, he said, standing tall, my dad taught me that real value isn't in what you buy, but in what you create. He wanted to teach me skills, patience, craftsmanship. They just wanted to send me away and buy my love with expensive gifts. I watched Lisa's face crumple as our son continued. I want to live with my dad. He sees me as his son, not as baggage. That word hung in the air. Brad shifted uncomfortably in his expensive suit. Mrs. Mitchell, the judge leaned forward. Did you really plan to send your 13-year-old to boarding school without consulting his father? Lisa stammered, trying to explain about opportunities and prestigious education. But the damage was done. The judge's decision was clear: primary custody to me, with Lisa getting supervised visitation, if Alex wanted it. As we left the courthouse, Lisa called after us one last time. Alex, please. We can buy you anything you want. Alex turned to her, the wooden knight clutched in his hand. Mom, Dad already gave me everything I need. He gave me his time. 3 months after the custody hearing, my phone lit up with Lisa's number. I almost declined it out of habit, but something, maybe the fact that it was 2 a.m., made me answer. Jim. Her voice was trembling, raw. I could hear crashing sounds in the background. Jim, please. I need help. Sell the fucking house. Brad's voice boomed in the background. You want to keep living like this? Your precious lifestyle? Then sell it. I can't talk to Brad anymore. Lisa was crying now. He lost his job, fraud charges. He's drinking and threatening. He says I owe him after everything he's done for me. Another crash. Brad's voice getting closer. You think I wanted to play daddy to your brat? I needed that money. Now sell the house or I swear to God. I found myself laughing, a cold, bitter sound that surprised even me. Interesting how things work out, isn't it? Lisa, please, she whispered. I was wrong. About everything. He's not who I thought. No, I cut her off. He's exactly who I said he was. A man who saw our family as something to use. Just like you saw me as something to dispose of. I made a mistake. I see that now. But he's threatening to what? Take everything? Ship you off somewhere? Treat you like baggage? The word hung between us. Funny how that feels, isn't it? She was sobbing now. We had a good life, Jim. Before all this. Remember? The three of us. We were happy. I forgot what real happiness was. Please help me. For what we used to have. What we used to have. My voice hardened. Let me tell you what we used to have. We had a son who loved working in the garage with his dad. We had family dinners where we talked about our days. We had a home built on love, not credit cards. I know, she choked out. I know now. But that wasn't enough for you, was it? You needed more. Needed Brad's money, his status. Needed it so much you were willing to send our son away to boarding school. To ship off your own child so you could play house with your office boyfriend. Another crash from her end. Brad screaming about the house deed. He'll destroy everything, she whispered. Like you destroyed our family. Like you destroyed Alex's trust when you planned to send him away. Like you destroyed my gift that I spent 3 months making for our son. Jim, please. No, Lisa. You made your choice. You chose Brad's money over our love. You chose expensive gifts over handmade ones. You chose sending our son away over keeping him close. Now you get to live with those choices. What am I supposed to do? Her voice was small, broken. The same thing you told me to do. Call a professional. Someone who actually knows what they're doing. I echoed her words from that birthday party. Isn't that what you said? I'm sorry. She was barely audible now. I'm so sorry. Goodbye, Lisa. Tell Brad I said thanks for showing Alex what a real father looks like. For showing you what real love looks like. Even if you had to learn it the hard way. I hung up as she was still pleading. In the next room, I could hear Alex working on his latest woodworking project, a jewelry box he was making all by himself. Every rough edge, every imperfect joint was worth more than all of Brad's expensive gifts combined. A week after Lisa's late-night call, I heard about Brad through Mike. Domestic violence charges. Apparently, he'd come home drunk and taken out his job loss frustrations on Lisa. She had a broken arm and bruises, but she'd finally called the police. Brad was looking at serious jail time. I felt a moment of something. Not quite pity, not quite concern. Just a hollow acknowledgement that the woman I'd once loved was suffering. But that woman had died long ago, replaced by someone who'd been willing to throw away our son for status. Do you want to check on her? Mike asked. Not my family anymore, I replied, turning back to the cabinet I was building with Alex. 3 months later, Alex and I were shopping at Marshall's Market when we saw her. She was behind the register, wearing a red store vest, her previously manicured hands now rough from scanning groceries. The designer clothes were gone, replaced by practical workwear. Her arm was out of its cast, but she still held it carefully. She froze when she saw us, her face flushing with shame. Alex gripped my arm tight, then straightened his shoulders and walked to her register with our groceries. Hi, Mom, he said quietly. Alex, her voice cracked. You look good. He did. He'd grown 2 inches, his shoulders broader from working in the shop with me. He was wearing one of his woodworking aprons, proud of the sawdust that marked him as a craftsman's son. Dad's teaching me everything, he said, watching her scan our items. We're building furniture together. Real stuff, not just. He glanced at her bruised arm. Not just expensive things that break. Lisa's hands trembled as she scanned a box of nails. I saw the jewelry box you made. Your grandmother showed me pictures. It's beautiful. Dad taught me that beautiful things take time and care, Alex said pointedly. Not just money. Tears started rolling down Lisa's cheeks. Alex, I'm so sorry. About everything. About Brad. About the boarding school. About how I treated your father. Dad would never have done that to you. Alex cut in, gesturing to her arm. He would never have hurt us. He just wanted to teach me, to love me. And I was too stupid to see it. You weren't stupid, I found myself saying. You were just a kid caught between 2 worlds. Lisa looked up at me, mascara running. The same expensive mascara she used to mock my sawdust-covered clothes about. I made the right choice, though, Alex continued, helping bag our groceries. I chose the father who builds things instead of breaks them, who creates instead of destroys. Lisa's shoulders shook with silent sobs. I chose wrong. I chose so wrong. Yeah, Alex said softly. You did. But I didn't. He hugged her quickly, awkwardly, over the register. I have to go. Dad and I are building a dining room table for Mike's anniversary. As we walked away, I heard Lisa call out softly. He's lucky to have you. Both of you. Alex looked back one last time. No, Mom. I'm the lucky one. I learned what matters before it was too late. In the truck, Alex was quiet for a while. Then, Dad, that table we're making for Uncle Mike. Yeah. Can we make it perfect? Like, really perfect? I squeezed his shoulder. One piece at a time, buddy. That's how you build anything that lasts. He nodded, understanding we weren't just talking about furniture anymore. Sometimes the strongest things are built from broken pieces. You just have to know how to put them back together right.